Good day, everyone. My name is Dr. Adeyemi Adedako of the Department of Educational Foundations, Faculty of Education, National Open University of Nigeria, Abuja. I'm welcoming you to our EDT821 class, Instructional Task Analysis and Psychological Basis of Instructional Media. Today, we are going to discuss purposes of instructional technology. Come along. I hope you will enjoy the class. Thank you. Welcome back into the class of EDT821, Instructional Task Analysis and Psychological Basis of Instructional Media. Today, we are going to consider purposes of instructional technology. During our last discussion, we discussed extensively on related terms used in educational technology. Terms like technology in education, technology of education, and instructional technology. Today, like I said, we are going to consider purposes of instructional technology with these intended learning outcomes. That at the end of the interaction, you should be able to state the 9 effects needed for effective instruction in the classroom. Highlight the benefits of instructional technology. Explain the purposes of instructional technology. What is instruction? Instruction is an activity which is designed to help people to learn. Effects of instruction on learning are usually beneficial and easy to observe as a properly designed instruction focuses on its predetermined objectives. According to Robert Gain, there are 9 events. There are 9 events that are needed for effective learning. Thus, they include a sequence of events similar to the following. They are similar to the following 9 events of instruction. We have one is gain attention. Yes, gain attention, the book. This is gaining attention. Before the learners can start to process any new information, the instructor must gain the attention of the learners. There are quite a number of external stimuli that may engage the attention of the learners. So this might entail using abrupt changes in the instruction. So you can use such devices as storytelling at the beginning of the lesson. You are free to tell story. For example, how many of you passed through the main gate this morning? Just to arouse the interest of the learners, to motivate them to learn. Storytelling, demonstration, presenting a problem to be solved, and doing something the wrong way. The instruction will then show how to do it the right way. All the instructional materials that you designed, I want to make use during presentation. You can put this up. Let them see. Just to arouse the interest of the learners. That is the first effects of instruction according to Robert Gain. The second one is orient the learner. That is informing the learner of the objectives. Yes, the teacher communicates the desired outcome to the group. It's very, very important. So this allows the learners to organize their thoughts around what they are about to see, hear, or do. So tell them what you are going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. So that is more reason why at the beginning of the lesson, even this instructional video, we try as much as possible to state the instruction intended learning outcomes. That is, at the end of the lesson, we're expecting learners to be able to do this, to do that. We use action verbs. So the third one has to do with stimulate recall of prior knowledge. It's also one of the events of instruction. To stimulate recall of prior knowledge. The teacher has for recall of existing relevant knowledge. These allow the learners to build on their previous knowledge or skills. For example, you want to teach something relating to computers. You are meeting them for the first time. All you need to do is just to make reference to what they are familiar with. Starting with mini computers like calculator. Also making reference to cell phone. That is stimulating recall of prior knowledge. So though we are capable of having our creative minds, and as it's much easier to build on what we already know, reminding learners of prior knowledge relevant to the current lesson. Provide the learners with a framework that helps learning and remembering. Also, we have the fourth one, present content material. That is presenting information. Teacher gives emphasis to distinctive features, chunk the information to avoid memory overlap. So these allow learners to receive feedback on individualized tasks, thereby correcting isolated problems rather than having little idea of where the root of the learning challenges lies. So Bloom taxonomy and learning strategy can be used here in order to help sequence the lesson by helping you to chunk them into level of difficulty. That is, present content material. That is presenting information. Providing learners guidance. Yeah, providing learners guidance here. Okay, the teacher helps the students in understanding by providing organization and relevance. That is providing guidance. This is not the presentation of content, but is instructions on how to learn. No, at times I used to tell my students, well, adults want, that the best way to learn is to make sure that you read whatever you are taught on a daily basis, so that you'll be able to recall from memory what you have called. Not until you wait when the exam will be coming up. No, you don't need to wait till that time. So I used to tell them, it's still providing guidance for learning. Also, we have elicit performance practice, eliciting performance. The teacher asks the learners to respond, demonstrating learning. Practice by letting the learners do something with the newly acquired behavior, skills, or knowledge. And also, we have provide informative feedback. This one is providing feedback. The teacher gives information feedback on the learner's performance, show correctness of the learner's response, analyze learner's behavior. This can be a text, can be in form of a quiz or a verbal comments. The feedback needs to be specific, not you are doing a good job. Tell them why they are doing a good job, or provide specific guidance. This is in line with the 9 events of a blue taxonomy. Also, we have assess if lesson objectives have been learned. This has to do with assessing performance. The teacher requires more learners' performance and gives feedback in order to reinforce learning. So there's need to test to determine if the lesson has been learned. You can also give general progress information about the individual students. So the last one is the next event of instruction. So enhance retention and transfer. The teacher provides varied practice to generalize the capability by informing the learner about similar problem situations. To provide additional practice and put the learner in a transfer situation and review the lesson. So by making use of this Gaines taxonomy of learning outcomes and events of instruction, we simplify the learning process as part of a complete instructional package, just to assist in becoming more organized and staying focused on the instructional goal. Yes, with this now, we need to ask these questions. Yes, highlight the benefits of 9 events needed for effective instruction in the classroom. I will advise that you pause the video so that you're able to go through the activity. Yeah. Welcome back. Now, instructional technology. Instructional technology is a systematic application of strategies and techniques derived from behavioral, cognitive, and constructive theories to the solution of instructional problems. And instructional technology has been defined as the ability to share information using media-based technology like audio, like text. Audio is something that appears on our auditory channel. Hearing. So text. This one is visual. So video, the combination of audio and visual. Image, maybe in form of cartoon, etc., etc. In order to facilitate enhanced interaction between educators and targeted learners. Also, the author further expatiates that instructional technology consists of both synchronous and asynchronous technologies. Synchronous technology allows learners and educators to interact at the same time virtually. Is this not a normal practice? So this course is to come up on Friday between 12 and 1. We will interact. Why asynchronous technologies allow learners to engage in educational activities at their preferred time based on the requirements of the course. This is asynchronous mode. This instructional video of today's lecture, of Friday lecture, the one we have for this week, is a asynchronous video of it. So it allows learners to engage in educational activities at their preferred time based on the requirements of the course. It's expected to even send this thing ahead days before the virtual meeting. So instructional technology is a systematic application of theory and other organized knowledge to the task of instructional design and development. Instructional technology is equal to instructional design plus instructional development. In instructional design, it involves designing content, designing subject matter, content and subject matter, and delivery strategies, including materials and assessment techniques. That is instructional design. Instructional design is the art and science of creating an instructional environment and materials that will bring the learner from the state of not being able to accomplish certain tasks to the state of being able to accomplish those tasks. So instructional design is still based on theoretical and practical research into the areas of cognition, area of educational psychology, and problem solving. So however, instructional development is a process of implementing the design plans. We have instructional design and we have instructional development. We are saying that development is the process of implementing the design, what have been designed, the plans. So instructional technology is often confused with educational technology, whereas instructional technology is a subset of educational technology, based on the concept that instruction is subset of education. Instruction technology is the theory and practice of design, development, utilization, management, evaluation of processes and resources for learning. However, instructional design seeks to teach how to plan, how to develop, how to evaluate, and how to manage the instructional process effectively in order to ensure improved performance by learners. So instructional technology goals is to understand how people learn and how best instructional systems and instructional materials could be designed to facilitate learning. No more, no less. Is to understand how people learn. That is instructional technology for you and I. And how best instructional systems and instructional materials could be designed in order to facilitate learning. Okay. Purposes of instructional technology. The purpose of instructional technology is to make education more productive and more individualistic, to individualize learning. That's the purpose of instructional technology. You package everything, make use of theories, find ideas, you package instruction. No, we put everything maybe in a CD, in a flash drive, allow students to copy such, and when the time they get home, they try as much as possible to play back. So it makes education more productive and also more individualistic. Learners will be learning at their own pace. So the purpose encompasses making instruction to be more scientifically based, more experimental, learning more immediate and accessible to all irrespective of gender, irrespective of location, according to UNESCO 2015. So learning more immediate and accessible to all, irrespective of gender and location. Instructional technology is to create engaging, effective learning experiences that cater the needs of different individuals. So it is the precise procedure of outlining, creating, assessing, and dealing with the whole instructional procedure to guarantee successful and proficient learning. And instructional technology is very crucial in delivering good learning experience, even with Mira's access to unlimited content. Instructional design gives it a much needed directions and purpose. So it guides the learners to achieve learning objectives. Very easy. And frames the entire learning experience for effective utilization of those learning objectives. So instructional system design and educational technology. Let us look at the two concepts, instructional system design as educational technology. The instructional system design, that is ISD, process was developed to take the guesswork out of instruction. Rather than rely on assumptions of traditional about what needs to be taught and how best to present it, ISD takes a system, look at the teaching, instructional system design. Among other things, it takes into account the environment in which learners are expected to eventually perform. Must be conducive. Characteristics of the learners, the age of the learners, the interests of the learners, the abilities of the learner, an aspect of the learning environment that could impact the effectiveness of the instructions. Yes. Now we have class activity. Class activity 2. What is the purpose of instructional technology in the teaching learning process? What is the purpose of instructional technology in teaching learning process? I would advise that you pause the video that will enable you to go through the activity. Welcome back. Attempt was made here to define instruction and instructional system design. So we've seen education. Instructional technology as instruction is the theory and practice of design. Yes. Here an attempt was made to define instruction and instructional system design. We've seen education in such a way that instructional technology is the theory and the practice of design. Development, utilization, management, and evaluation of processes and resources for learning. Instructional technology is often referred to as part of educational technology, while instructional technology covers the processes and systems of learning and instruction. Educational technology includes other systems used in the process of developing human learning. Thank you for listening.